Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about why confident men never get rejected even when they probably should. So one of the things that we need to get into is what unconfident men do. Men that don't have much confidence, what do they do? And why is it that a lot of women reject guys who are less confident? Okay, and one of the reasons obviously is that women are just attracted to men who do have confidence, okay, who are very direct, go for what they want, believe in themselves, and it shows through their physiology. They've always got they're standing up straight with their shoulders back, their chest is puffed out. Women are just more attracted to that kind of physiology in men, and they're just more attracted to that energy in men who, just go for what they want in life and are unapologetic about it, right? But guys that don't have much confidence in themselves do all sorts of things that ruin their chances with women. So one of the things that a lot of unconfident guys do is they chat too much online to a girl. So let's say they get a woman's number at work, right? And they're like hoping like, oh yeah, maybe I can get her to like me by just messaging her. And what they do is they'll just chit chat with her, send her like memes and stuff, and maybe she sends him stuff too. They're just chatting for a long time. And basically what happens is, because the guy is so unconfident in himself, he never makes a move. He never says, hey, we should hang out, hey, we should get together sometime, when are you free? And maybe things are just sort of left up in the air. So like she might even say, oh, we should meet up soon, and he's like, yeah, definitely. And nothing ever happens because he doesn't just be like, okay, so when are you free? Let's get this thing happening, right? And he's just constantly just sort of talking to women and not making anything happen with them. And women don't find that very attractive. And yeah, maybe it would help if women, if they liked a guy, to, come up with the plans too, and to say, hey, when are you free? And all those kinds of questions too. But it's just one of those things that women don't tend to do very often. So you may like it, or you may like it, or you may not like it, but a lot of the time a guy is the one that has to sort of put his neck out straight away, usually in those initial stages, to ask her out properly. And what I mean by that is asking when she is free, and then she tells him when she's free, and then he says, great, how about we meet at this day, at this time, at this place? And that's the directness that she is looking for. And that's the kind of confidence that she is looking for. She's looking for a guy who is direct. And that is the reason why a lot of confident men never get rejected. It's because they are direct. If they like a woman, they don't beat around the bush and like, oh, get her phone number first. Or maybe I'll message her for a few weeks and then I'll test the waters to see if she'll hang out with me. No, a confident guy is going to see a woman that he likes and he's going to think, oh, she's kind of pretty, she's attractive, I'd really love to get to know her better, she's ringing my bells, right, whatever. And he's like, well, I'm going to go up to her and ask for a number, or I'm going to ask her out on the spot. That's what a confident guy will do. And he'll go up to her and he'll say, hey, you know what, I would really like to get to know you better, when are you free? Are you free this weekend? He'll be asking her when she's free. And and because he's being so direct, it triggers a woman's attraction, because that's what she finds attractive. She finds confidence attractive. And it's very hard for a woman to say no to a man who's being that direct straight away. It's very difficult, right? Even if she's in a relationship, she's still going to be like, what? Oh no, sorry, I've got a boyfriend. It's because she has to like, I can't believe he asked me out so directly, right? So, so it's very hard for her to say no to a guy who is that direct. And if she finds him attractive as well, she's going to definitely want to say, oh yeah, I'm free then, I'm free here. But even if she's on the edge and she's not sure, like, oh yeah, he's kind of cute, but I'm not sure about him, because he's been that direct, he's automatically triggered that sort of like response, that attraction response from her. She's going to be like, oh, okay, I'll give him a chance. He was that direct. He was really bold. He was really confident. He came straight up to me and he said, hey, you know what? I think you're nice. I think you're hot. Let's go out. I'd love to take you out. When are you free? And she's like, okay, let's go out. Because she hasn't because she hasn't had that much time with him to like really figure out who he is, and she doesn't know if whether or not he deserves to be rejected or not. Right? She's like, well, okay, I'll just go out with him because I don't know him well. Maybe maybe he's really great. Because she hasn't built up like this sort of like persona of who you are yet, because you've been that direct straight away. So like she's got no reason, if she's single, to reject you. She's got no reason to, because she doesn't know who you are. And if you're attractive, at least a little bit, she's going to be like, okay, well, give him a go. So sure, let's hang out. Right? Whereas if you're her friend first and you're like, messaging her a lot, she can develop sort of like a sense of who you are, and she might reject you over that. Okay, especially if she finds out that you're not very confident, which is probably what you are if you are only messaging a woman and you're not asking her out and you're not being direct. Like she knows that, oh, okay, he's not really that attractive, he's not very confident. Yeah, I can probably sense to some degree that he likes me, but he's taking too long about it, and I find that very icky because he's trying to be my friend, and it's just not attractive behavior. Okay, whereas a guy who is more confident and more direct is easily going to get a yes out of a woman, because there hasn't been any of that sort of like build up, and she doesn't know who that guy is, essentially. Okay, so that's the reason why confident men never get rejected, especially when they ask a woman out very directly like that. Now, another thing though that I will say is that this works best in person. Okay, so this isn't something that you should do after you've got her phone number. Okay, this is it still may work because maybe she still does like you, but if you really want this to be effective and you want to lower the risk of getting rejected later on, it's best to just ask her out and make concrete plans for a date with her on the spot, in person. Okay, and this isn't a very hard thing to do. The only hurdle you need to get over is the fear of rejection to your face. Okay, but trust me, that's a lot easier to handle than rejection later on, when your feelings have built up for her because you've been messaging her and you've been chatting, but things haven't led anywhere. Okay, it's much easier to get rejected like that, and for it to happen straight away rather than a long time down the road where you've probably fallen even more in love with her. So it's better to be direct. So all you need to do though is, when you see a woman that you find attractive, and maybe you've just sussed her out a little bit, maybe you've just checked for a ring on her finger to make sure she's not married and things like that. Because obviously there's no point you walking up to a woman who's clearly got a wedding ring on her finger. But if you see a woman that's attractive, you can't see a ring on her finger, and you're like, well, let's go up to her and let's see what she says, right? So just just go up to her and say, hey, I think you're beautiful. I'd really love to get to know you better. When are you free? Are you free this weekend? Yeah, just say something like that, and then she'll be like, I'm free on Saturday. You're like, great. How about we meet at the Turkish restaurant at 7 p.m. Maybe you give the name of the restaurant or whatever, yeah, and you just say where to meet, what time, on what day, and then she'll be like, oh, okay, cool, let's do that, right? But what happens then if she rejects you, right? Let's say she does have a boyfriend. Let's say she just says to you that she's not that interested. Well, all you have to do is to say very simply, well, you know what? Okay, that's fine. You take it as a compliment, and I hope you have a really nice day. And if she says that she's got a boyfriend, you can say, well, he's a lucky guy. Have a nice day. Something like that. And then you just walk away and you let it go. You don't stand around and hang out with her and then try to rationalize what you said or anything like that. Just tell her to take it as a compliment, to have a nice day, to congratulate her on her relationship, if that's the excuse that she's given you as to why she can't hang out with you. And just move on with your life and just walk away. Because the worst thing you could do is to hang around and hover around and still continue talking to her. Just walk away, basically, and just tell her to take it as a compliment, and to not take it any further than that, really, and that's it, right? So either you can just, tell her, if you get rejected, then you know what to do now. And if she says, okay, and she's sort of like, okay, let's go out, you're like, great, all right? And you just come up with a time and a place, and then you just, do that, okay? You may not even have to get her phone number, but it's also really good as well if she asks for yours. So, but I would say don't even ask for her phone number. Don't even ask for that. Especially if you've arranged the plans, because you've made the concrete date now. And if she likes you, and if she's interested in you, then she's going to know about the date. She's going to remember the time. She's going to remember the place, because women pay attention to that when a guy is asking her out. Okay. So it's not like you need to have her number because you're worried that she's going to bail on you and you're going to be, and you know, she's going to stand you up basically. Okay. That shows even more confidence. But if she does ask for your phone number, then that's fine, obviously. But, you know, but that's the thing that confident guys do. And that's why a lot of the time they don't get rejected, because they're just so direct. They're just so upfront with what they're doing. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you need help with this kind of thing and you need help with a specific situation of yours, perhaps you need help with your confidence or something like that, so you're able to actually do this more effortlessly, so you can, you know, get more phone numbers from girls, get more dates with women. So what I would recommend that you do is go and get coaching with me, and you can do that by following the link in the description of this video. It goes to www.christineloveridge.com and just click on coaching, and just select whichever coaching option works best for you at this current time. And if you need help as well, and you would like to coach yourself, then on the website you can also go and read my book for free, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. Again, the link is in the description. So you'll go to www.christineloveridge.com, then click on the menu on the website, and then click on the book, and it will take you straight to the PDF reader where you can read this 100% for free. You don't have to log in, you don't have to sign up, you can just read it for free on my website where you can study it. The only thing is that you may need to read this a few times, where if your confidence takes a dip, let's say a woman rejects you, you may want to read it again, just to give you that boost and then what you need. And also it helps with when you find a girlfriend too, and how to keep the magical life long term, because one of the complaints that I get from women and from men, and what they need help with is to keep the magical life long term, because their girlfriend or their wife no longer wants to have sex. But there's a section in this book that particularly helps with keeping the magical life long term as well. So it's a good all-rounder that you can study throughout your whole life. And like I said, it's for free, so you might as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.